Alright, so you can yell at me or whatever you want to do. Go ahead and let me have it. This tractor, the brake lever, I don't know where any of it went to, but like I said, I got this back from my son-in-law. They planned on doing something different, I guess. So, but anyway, I got this tractor back, and since I do a lot of logging, things like that, and I'm on a hill out back, I decided that I needed to fix the brake lever. So I robbed this off of my throttle, which I think I told you I had an 8-ball for that. And now I'm going to put this on here. It doesn't take very much to make these brakes work here, so this should do just fine. The tractor I'm selling, you can reach down and just flip it over with your finger. This one's probably going to need a little oil because it's pretty stiff. So anyway, but I welded a 1/4-inch bolt onto the end of it. I had to get in there and die grind it with my die grinder. And of course I didn't have any yellow paint, so I painted it with that. Now, welders, since we're on the subject, I'm gonna hopefully, I'm not a professional welder. Nothing I do is professional. I'm a backyard, restore it yourself. My dad was a mechanic, and I ended up being an automotive machinist. There's a difference between an automotive machinist and a mechanic. I do not know how to really diagnose cars. I mean, I can take parts off, I can take them apart, put it together. I've done it. 69 Camaros, 87 El Camino, 56 Chevy pickup truck. My dad and I restored all this kind of stuff now. Back in the day, I'm 70 now, I didn't have a really nice welder. And I bought a little buzz box, and my dad told me then, I'm gonna sit down. My dad told me then that, well, if you're gonna get a welder, a MIG welder, you gotta get gas. You gotta get the argon gas. I said, okay, why? And he says, because you can try and weld it without it. You can try that flux. Back then, I don't even think they had flux core. I don't really remember. I have never used flux core welding wire. I have tried, and actually I bought a spool at one time because I was out of gas, and it was $100 to fill my tank. And I just figured, okay, 20 bucks. If it works, it works. Well, guess what? Some people like it. Some people can use it. I have a friend of mine. He is a mechanic, and he uses it. I couldn't tell you the quality of the weld or anything because I'm not over there, but I do know he uses it. I do not. I refuse to. The shit, it never welds good for me. That's the old thing they used to call turkey welding, big boogers and snots hanging off your steel and all that. Well, that's a sign that your welder is not working properly, or you either don't know how to weld, or you're just not using the welder properly. This is a Hobart, and my recommendation is, even if you're just a backyard, I'm going to restore it myself kind of person, work on your cars, work on your motorcycles. This is a Hobart 190, and this welder right here, I built a claw for my Massey Ferguson out there. It's a Massey Ferguson 65, and I built a claw for it to go in the loader, and it's used by hydraulic. I mean, obviously a 165 Massey Ferguson is a pretty big tractor, and it had to be pretty rugged, so I've built this with it. I have a boat trailer out there that I converted into a flatbed square trailer. I didn't leave it, you know, like one of those regular boat trailers that come up to a point. I spread the front end. I put ladder braces in there to make it square instead of looking like a boat trailer. I mean, I welded the hitch back in. I mean, that stuff's all 1/4 inch, 5/16, 3/8 steel. And this Hobart welder right here, it will do it all. I've welded a lot of stuff with this welder, and the deal about this 190 is, yeah, you're gonna have to put in, you know, 220 service for it, because, you know, it's just not gonna work with 110 outlet. But this welder, the reason I chose this welder is because you can use a spool gun, and here's the switch for it right here. Okay, and you just flip that switch, and you got to change out the wire, but you put your spool gun right in the same spot where your nozzle comes out. This is getting pretty dirty. It's about time for me to haul everything out and clean it up again. And I try to keep it covered up with this here. That's a plasma cutter that I got too, but this Hobart does it all. And I bought a Hobart spool welder. And I built a flatbed. Well, I customized an aluminum flatbed for my truck. And it's aluminum. And I had to cut and I had to weld. And I cut with a saber saw or circular saw, not a circular saw, saber saw and a super saw, and I cut whatever I needed to cut. I also have a Harbor crap saw over there, which I can buy a bunch of blades and make that work. But the point is that this welder here, I gotta sit down. I'm kind of beat. This welder will do everything you want to do. This will weld your frame, which nobody wants to talk about that, but let's face it, you got something old and you want to weld a good chunk of steel in there. This welder will do it. It's a good welder. It's a 190. The next step up from here is, I think it's a 200, and don't quote me on that, but Hobart is a spin-off of Miller, and I had a Miller. It was a big thing, man. I mean, the thing was huge. It was as big as that tire right there, and it was heavy, man. I mean, when I moved in here, I had to, you know, tow it up my ramp in the back of my truck. That was a beautiful welder. You could weld a bridge together with that welder that I had. It was a Miller, but it was just too big. Yes, it was on rollers, but for what I do, it was just too big. I bought it. I got a deal on it, and the guy who had it had taken really good care of it. He used it for his stock car, and that's all he used it for. So it didn't have a lot of mileage on it. It was a good welder, and it had been kept inside, never stored outside. And so I bought it, and it was a nice welder, and I kept it for a few years, but I ended up selling it. And when I sold it, I bought this welder to replace that welder, because even though it's got a handle on it and you can take it anywhere you want to go, I would just build a cart, make a cart. This is something I cobbed together, and put it on a cart and keep the freaking thing covered up, because all that dust and stuff is no good for it. And I haven't, I used it today, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out here probably tomorrow, and my next project is to clean this, take the cover off of it, make sure there's no crap down inside of it, and I'll clean it up, and then I'll cover it all back up again. I do a lot of different things out here. Obviously, I work on the tractors, and I get a lot of stuff done. I built those brackets for that plow. I cut that plow down, and I welded it and made it shorter, and I made my own mounting brackets down there. Everything. I fabricated everything. I fabricated that winch mount there. I mean, everything that you see, the the beam for hauling my logs out. I built that. I've pretty much a do-it-yourself master of none, but this, for somebody who just wants to restore their car or something like that, this Hobart is what you want to buy. Don't waste your money on a cheap piece of garbage Harbor Freight. I have never used one, but I've seen a ton of them in the trash. And I don't know about you, but I don't have money to spend on a welder and then throw it away in the trash. I've seen a lot of them in the trash. I don't know why they're in the trash. I don't know what happened to them. And again, this is not a bad mouth about Harbor Freight, because I realize that some people just can't afford to buy tools that are Snap-on or Miller. I couldn't afford to buy another Miller, so I bought this Hobart. I bought it on eBay. It was shipped to me, and I've had it for over I think probably 9-10 years now. I've had this welder, but I take care of it, and I use Argon all the time. Everything I weld, I have upgraded the cables to it. That's a heavier cable than what came with it. It's heavier and it's a little bit longer, so I went heavier so that I wasn't going to heat up the cables or anything. And then what I did was I went on eBay again, I looked welding supplies, and I got this hose, and this is a quick connect. So every time I want to move something around here, I don't have to take the thing off of here, the regulator off, and I just can unhook that and I'm free to move it around. It just makes it a lot easier. Some of the things that I've done to this welder to just make it easier to use. So Hobart is not a bad decision. If you buy one, buy one. I did. I like it. And like I said, we got the brake knob over there, and we're all set. So onward with the tractor. Thanks for watching, and I really appreciate everybody who watches my videos. Throw a thumbs up at me, and keep picking.